Hello, my name is Dr. Jen Krafchick, and I'm a professor in Human Development and Family Studies and one of the co-directors of the Campus Connections Youth Mentoring Program. So this brief video will help guide you through an overview of Campus Connections for the spring 2021 semester. It is required for all students who apply to Campus Connections, so please take some time to listen to the video and then fill out your two-part application. We're really excited that you're interested in participating in Campus Connections next semester because it really is a class that is very unique and engaging, even in a very online format during these difficult times. Students who serve as mentors work really closely with youth throughout the semester. They get experience in mentoring, understanding adolescent development, and really being engaged with youth from our community. Campus Connections is also a great way to develop professional skills, including leadership skills that really can help make a difference when you are applying to graduate school or looking for a job. Campus Connections was developed back in 2009 in response to a request from the local community for more services for youth, particularly those who were involved in the juvenile justice system. So since then, we've served over 2,500 young people from the Larimer County community, and over 3,300 students have been involved. Since then, we've also licensed Campus Connections, and it is operating on many different campuses in Colorado, including UNC, University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, CSU Pueblo, and even the University of Auckland in New Zealand. So at Campus Connections, we take a family systems approach to mentoring. So you can see in the diagram here that there are different groupings. So this is a mentor family, and each of these double circles are the mentor-mentee pairs. And each mentor family has at least one mentor coach, and that's kind of a TA level position. And then we have lead mentor coaches and therapists and faculty all supporting the work that you're doing with your mentee. So for students, Campus Connections is a service learning class where you're earning 3 credits to serve as a role model and mentor to a young person. You're also developing great leadership skills and developing friendships and getting to know other people and making a difference in our community. During the spring of 2021, Campus Connections will be run solely online, so there won't be any concerns or disruption related to the pandemic. The way that we'll be running is on Mondays and Tuesdays. So those are 2 separate sections. So you can just pick either day that works best with your schedule. And we'll be running from 3:30 to 4 for our pre-lab. And then 4 to 6 will be a session with one group of youth. And 6 to 8 will be a session with a second set of youth. So you'll actually have 2 mentees in the spring, which is pretty cool. And then from 8 to 8:30, we'll have post-lab where we debrief how the evening went. During the whole program, therapy will also be offered by our graduate students in our family therapy. So the first 3 weeks of the semester are training, and we'll talk about those dates at the end of the video. But the last week that the kids are here, which is our last week of classes, we have a really cool graduation celebration that the youth families participate in, and it's just a really nice way to wrap up the Campus Connections experience. So we are looking for you to be a mentor with Campus Connections. So students can be mentors from any major. We have a lot of students in human development and family studies, psychology, social work, sociology, majors like that. But we have also a lot of students from the natural sciences, the bench sciences, from liberal arts. So lots of different majors. Really lead people to Campus Connections. So any major is fine. We do encourage you to talk with your academic advisor to see how it's going to fit into your specific curriculum. We do also do background checks on everyone, so we'll talk more about that in a minute. But just know that that is something you need to complete as well. And we really want students who are mature, students who really want to serve and work with young people, and who are dependable and reliable, and just really bring enthusiasm and a great attitude to working with youth. So who are the youth that you're going to be working with? Well, we work with kids that are between the ages of 10 and 18. The yellow part of the pie chart here that you might not be able to see because my face might be on top of that is the schools. So about 40 some percent of our youth are actually referred directly from school counselors, school social workers, administrators, and teachers themselves. And then about 27% come from human services, so Department of Social Services generally. So those could be kids who are in foster care or families where coming from families where there's been abuse or neglect. About 13% of the youth that we work with are referred directly from the juvenile justice system, and that includes probation directly from the bench or the magistrate, or from other parts of the juvenile justice system. And then about 17% of our youth are referred directly from their families. And youth are referred for a variety of reasons, but at the end of the day, it is because they are at risk in some way of reaching their potential. So many of our families are experiencing poverty. As we talked about 13% are involved in the courts. A lot of them are struggling academically or just experiencing different types of family issues, behavioral or mental or emotional issues, abuse and neglect, or trauma backgrounds, or substance abuse. But fortunately, we've got great outcomes for youth who participate in Campus Connections. So after spending 12 weeks working with you, we see decreased rates of truancy, decreased use of substances, including marijuana, and improved behavior both at home and at school, and most importantly, improved psychological well-being. And that really shakes out to three variables. After spending a semester in Campus Connections with a mentor like you, youth report feeling happier, feeling like they matter more, and feeling less lonely. So that's pretty awesome. We also have great outcomes for our students. A recent study that we did with CSU's Institutional Research Office found that students who participate in Campus Connections have higher rates of staying at the university, higher graduation rates, faster degree completion, which means saves you money, and higher GPAs. We have some other research that shows that that students who participate as mentors also feel more kind of empowered in terms of their civic engagement. They feel better about themselves, and they also feel like they have better interpersonal skills. So all mentors who participate in Campus Connections sign up for HDFS 470A. If you come back a second semester as a mentor coach, then you can participate in 470B, which is our mentor coach or our leadership track. Students all get assigned a mentor, and you'll be participating in lab on Mondays or Tuesdays. And again, everything's online, and it is going to be taking place on Zoom. So we have a two-part application. The first part is a Google Doc that you can just fill out online, and then you're going to email us the part two of the application to CampusConnectionsRecruitment@gmail.com. Once you get accepted to Campus Connections, we're going to assign you to Monday or Tuesday based on what you told us on your application, and then we'll give you the instructions to complete your background check. And that includes two parts. Part of it is through an organization called Sterling Volunteers, and the other part of that is fingerprinting, and you'll get all the instructions for that. Then the last thing you'll need to do is to plan to observe juvenile court, which is currently also virtually. So we'll send you the link so you can make that observation before the kids start coming to Campus Connections, which will be February 4th. So a little bit more information about background checks. So these are criminal background checks. So if you have anything that would show up on your record, so if you have any criminal charges at all, please reach out to me as soon as possible so I can talk to you about what that is. There are some that we are able to work with that aren't a problem, but there's others that are a little bit more serious. So we definitely need to have a conversation before you pay for the background check. Also, just wanted to let everyone know that if anybody does have charges moving forward during the semester after your background check is completed, you are required to let me know. When I talk about background checks, often I hear from students who are concerned if they don't have documentation, if they're on DACA or Colorado Asset. And I can tell you that we have had lots of students come through Campus Connections who don't have citizenship or documentation, and it has not been a barrier at all. And I really just want to stress that we so greatly value having a diverse representation of students in Campus Connections, that is something that's really, really important to Campus Connections as a program and to all of us as individuals within the staff and faculty. And so we really want to encourage you to apply and to please not see that as a barrier at all. If anybody has any questions about it, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. So as I mentioned earlier, the first 3 weeks of the semester are training. So you're going to get a really good background in adolescent development, how to work with youth, all the different clinical issues that we see at Campus Connections and how to pass that to our therapists. So we do that during the 3 weeks. The first week of the semester, there's no class on Monday. So we bring everybody together on Friday, January 22nd from 4 to 8. And again, that's all going to be online. So you can be wherever you are, but you just have to be online that Friday evening. So please put that in your calendar, Friday, January 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. We bring in some of our community partners, so from the court system, from the other agencies that we work with, to speak with you and answer any questions that you might have. And then the second and the third week of the semester, so that's January 25th and 26th and February 1st and 2nd, that's just your regular lab class from 3:30 to 8:30. And again, everything's online. And then the fourth week of the semester, so February 8th and 9th, that's when the youth start coming and you really start doing your mentoring. I just want to remind everyone that attendance at Campus Connections is mandatory. There's a young person who's here to hang out with you, to spend time with you, to get mentored by you, to develop a mentoring relationship with you. So you can't do that if you're not at Campus Connections. So we really expect that everyone will be there each and every week. The only exceptions to that is if you are significantly ill and not able to even show up on Zoom, or if you have a university sanctioned absence, or of course if you have some sort of an emergency or a crisis situation. I just want to clarify, it does not include, so it excludes any type of Greek life activities or family vacations. So the mentoring application is two parts. The first part is a Google Doc. The second part is the forms that you need to send in to Campus Connections Recruitment at gmail.com. And in that second part, you're also going to include your resume and a copy of your transcripts and 3 professional references. We ask that you submit those, if possible, by November 16th, but we'll continue to accept applications as space permits. Not only do we expect that all mentors will attend Campus Connections each week, but we also expect that once you make a commitment and you accept your invitation to participate in Campus Connections, that you fulfill that commitment if at all possible. It really creates some pretty significant problems for both the program and of course for the youth who we've paired up with you if you are not able to fulfill that commitment. So one of the forms on part 2 of your application is our mentor profile. So that is how we actually pair youth up with their mentors. Each of the youth that participates in Campus Connections will go through an hour-long intake with our staff before they are enrolled in the program. And that meeting ends with them picking their mentor. So we usually give them about 4 mentor profiles, and they're able to look through and find some things that they have in common with what you've expressed in your mentor profile. So that's how they pick you. The other form that is in part 2 of your application is your registration form. So when you fill this out, we will turn that into the advising office that will complete the override for you to register for HDFS 470A. So please make sure that you fill this form out carefully, and then you'll be getting an email a few weeks after you're accepted with your CRN so you can register. Few things that are kind of frequent questions on this form include up here where it is asking for your GPA and the credits that you've completed, and that's based on the last semester that you completed. So if you took classes last spring, then it would be spring 2020 because you're not currently done the fall semester. And then down here, the plan of study will take care of that. And then you just need to sign here. And then we will sign off as the supervisor and get the department head's signature as well. So thank you so much for completing the informational meeting for Campus Connections. Please reach out to us if you have any questions, and don't forget, submit your 2-part application, the Google Doc form, and part 2 of the forms to CampusConnectionsRecruitment at Gmail. We can't wait to see you next semester.